This story is brought to us from abc.go.com. A man fleeing New York City police officers on his motorcycle died after a sergeant hurled a plastic picnic cooler at his head from close range, causing a violent crash.
Police say Dupree was on his scooter and was being pursued by undercover officers as part of a narcotics buy and bust operation. You can see part of the chase on this surveillance video. Then police say Sergeant Eric Duran from Bronx Narcotics grabs a red cooler and throws it at Dupree, knocking him off the scooter and ultimately killing him. Can you imagine why the police were chasing him?
No. I don't know.
Police say Sergeant Duran has been suspended from duty without pay.
Now, Eric Dupree, who had 3 young children and worked as a delivery driver, was pronounced dead within minutes after being struck on a Bronx sidewalk. The Sergeant Eric Duran was suspended without pay just hours later. And that's an unusual move by the NYPD. This is the NYPD. And they suspended him without pay just hours later. I mean, that's interesting because, you know, the NYPD, I mean, come on. They would look to justify this normally. And New York Attorney General Letitia James, who has jurisdiction to probe deaths involving police, is investigating this. And of course, there was a vigil for Dupree where friends and acquaintances gathered and left photographs, candles, and mementos. Now, surveillance video by the Associated Press showed Dupree driving the gas-powered motorcycle on a sidewalk toward a group of people, including the sergeant, who was not in uniform. As he approaches, Duran, who's the police sergeant, picks up a red object, that's the picnic cooler, and throws it. Dupree is struck hard. He loses control of his motorcycle. He's thrown toward a tree. The motorcycle goes and smashes into a metal barricade before resting against a parked car. Now, police said Dupree tried to flee on a friend's motorcycle after he was caught selling drugs to an undercover police officer. The sergeant, who's Duran, was standing on the sidewalk as part of the buy and bust operation carried out by the Bronx Narcotics Unit. Police declined to specify what drugs Dupree was accused of selling. And so this guy died over, even if he was selling drugs, he died over selling drugs. It wasn't murder or, you know, anything like that. He died selling drugs. Reached by phone, Dupree's mother, Gretchen Soto. That's if he was selling drugs. Now, we don't know if he even was part of that. Reached by phone, Dupree's mother, Gretchen Soto, told the Associated Press the police narrative was all lies, insisting her son was not selling drugs or trying to evade officers. She said she was on a video call with him from Puerto Rico when suddenly the screen went dark. See, he may not even been part of this operation. This is weird. She said in Spanish, and I'll say it in English, he wasn't fleeing. He wasn't fleeing. He was just on the motorcycle talking to me on video chat, and he passed by that place when all of a sudden the call cut out. Now, she said he lived in the Bronx, and of course he had children 3, 5, and 9. And then it talks a little bit about him and him being a family man and a father. But the police department said in a statement, the NYPD is committed to ensuring that there will be a full, thorough, and transparent investigation of this incident to determine the facts and to take the appropriate steps forward. And Duran, the sergeant who's a 13-year veteran of the police department, joined the Bronx Narcotics Unit last September. He has been recognized by the department dozens of times for what it deems excellent and meritorious police service, according to a police personnel database. There is a disciplinary record that includes a substantiated complaint last year for abusing his authority during a stop. You know, it always amazes me how these police departments, and our San Bernardino County Sheriff's Department does the same thing, where they say, this is an excellent, meritorious cop. He's the cop of the year. And then you find out that he violates people's rights. He violates policy. Guy has his substantiated complaint for abusing his authority. Substantiated. But he was deemed excellent and meritorious police service. Cop of the year. It just amazes me. I mean, what happens to the real good cops, the ones who are doing the right thing? They get left behind. You know why? Because they don't make a lot of arrests, maybe. I don't know. Why? Because they're good cops. They're people persons. But these cops who are assholes that just arrest people and say, well, we'll figure out what the charges are as soon as we get them in the car. Top of the year. Look at his stats. Look how many arrests he has. Yeah, it's because he's an a-hole.